Hey Vivas, and welcome to another episode of Viva Aaliyah. I am so excited to be here today and to chat with you. This is episode 18 out of 22 of Viva Aaliyah in season 3. This is my third full season with you, and you know we have a lot in store for you in season 4, but we're not talking about that yet until we are done with season 3. So, I have a very special guest with me today, but I want to do a little bit of an introduction, a little bit more of an introduction, I should say, than I normally do. I am just so grateful for everything that I have and everybody that I have in my life, including the person that I'm interviewing today. He has become a friend, a confidant, somebody that I really have just relied on in these past few months, getting ready for National Entertainer of the Year. One of the people that I rely on also is Dominic, and Dominic is taking a much-needed vacation. So if you see me looking this way, I have my computer set up here, so I am running the background. Hi, Rosie Petals. How are you, darling? I'm so excited for today's show. So I just want to tell you, I've been preparing for National Entertainer of the Year for 16 years. I started my drag career 16 years ago, and when I saw my drag mother for the first time, Maya Douglas, I said, that's who I want to be. And the first picture I saw of her was her in her jester costume, sitting on the back of a chair and just letting the world have it. And then I got to see Erica Andrews, and I got to see Nina West, and I got to see Deranged, and I got to see Daisy Dead Petals, and Nina D'Angelo, and Vanessa De Mornay, and Bianca, and all of these wonderful queens. Tasha Cole, who is a very dear friend of mine now. Who knew I was going to be friends with the very first Entertainer of the Year? And my life is just so fulfilled in the aspect of being able to know about, hi Derek, how are you, baby? Know about Entertainer of the Year. But this year, I get to actually fulfill my dream, and I get to compete. And I say I've been preparing for 16 years, and that's mentally, but really for 3 years. I started getting my package together in 2019 when I handed down my title of Miss Gay United States. Nina West gown was sickening. Yes, Nina West gown will go down in history as one of the best gowns to grace the Entertainer of the Year stage. And hopefully, you never know, maybe we'll pull something out of the bag. But I've been preparing for 3 years. I started preparing in 2019 and planned on competing that year for National Entertainer of the Year. And of course, you know, there were mix-ups for me with promoters and timing and all of that. And so I was like, 2020 is it, 2020 is it. And then we had a pandemic. And so I am very interested to see what all of us were able to pull together in this pandemic. I know that promoters had to do things differently, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. I'm not stealing sunshine here, but I want to say thank you to a few people. People that have made this possible for me. This was extremely hard mentally, extremely hard physically, and I'm sure I say this for all of my sisters, and we're going to we're going to name each name of who is competing for National Entertainer of the Year. But I need to thank my husband, who has been here through thick and thin and heard me bitch and moan and do all of those things that everybody else doesn't necessarily get to see. And so thank you, Chip, for everything. He actually said yes, or right before he left for work tonight, because he's working overnights at the hospital. What do you need, Stone Still? I will be home tomorrow, and I will help you with it. So thank you for that. My mother, who has been here for me through all of this and has taught me to be the person that I am. My sister and my brother, my sisters and my brothers, Tajma Stetson, who is my very best friend and going to be my dresser, Molten Decadence, who just is one of my backbones. Tyler and Greg, who helped me build my sets, my dancers, Chris, Bradley, Ryan, Jules, Steven, and Belton. I would not be able to do this without you. Mulan and GB Couture for literally sewing every fucking thing in my package except for one garment. And my guest today saw everything the other day, so he knows the craziness that they ensued for all of this. Fierce Drag Jewels, Big girl nails. I actually have nails for every single category because of big girl nails. My drag mother, Maya Douglas, did not think going through this list I was going to get emotional, but I already am. Sion Hunter, Shay Larice, Tiffany T. Hunter, and I'm sure a million other people have been there for me. I did not mention my promoter because I get to talk to him yet, but I do want to thank you, Stephen, for being a wonderful promoter and somebody who is willing to put your trust in me for this competition. It is not easy to be a promoter. I have been one. You always know what's going on, but also don't know what's going on at the same time. And to put your trust in people who you don't know what's going on all the time is a terrifying thing. And to put your investment into somebody that you may have only met at your pageant or by putting them on a stage is something that you cannot think differently about other than just to say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to read some comments and then we're going to get into this interview. Derek Sky, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You Are Gay United States Family wishes you all the luck next week. Thank you. Thank you. Bradley, I love you too, babe. And Tajma, would not be able to do this without you. Literally. I told her I will be calling you every fucking day for the next few days until you're here in New York. So thank you for that. And Joel, hi babe, how are you? Hope you and Sabrina are well. I love you. Let's bring on my special guest for today. Like I said, he is a friend. He is going to be a confidant for me. He is somebody I know I can rely on if this goes the way we want it to go. He is somebody I can rely on my entire reign. And he is my promoter for Missouri Entertainer of the Year. This is Steven. Hi, honey. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Woo! You know, we are doing this. We are getting it together. Yes, we've got the Viva Aaliyah hat in the house. Actually, by Nationals, I will have fans to go with the hats. So I wanted to bring you on before I rattled off everybody because you know how crazy this has been.
Yeah.
Everybody. You have been basically you have been the middleman for everything this year because we can't see each other. We can't do anything. We haven't competed in our prelims. So what has that been like for you?
Well, I felt really bad for Buffet. She only got to have 2 prelims and we were literally touch and go, watching the lockdowns. Oh, it's going to be 18 days. No. And then, everybody's like, we're not doing this. We're not doing this. We're not doing this. So, and it was literally like, okay, Buffet, congratulations, you won. Sorry, your reign sucked.
She did a lot with her reign, though. So
she did. I mean, she had a great online presence, and that's really the only thing that she could do. There were a lot of phone calls between promoters and potential contestants and the national owners and Buffet and promoters getting together and talking, going, what are we going to do? And then when we started having these monthly Zooms with the national office, and they came down and said, look, we understand you guys are not going to be able to have your prelims. So when we figure out exactly what's going on, we'll give you the option to, if you think you can pull off a prelim, to pull off a prelim. If not, we'll give you the option to promote or to appoint. So most of us took the option to appoint because there was like, well, things are just now opening up. There's no way we're going to get a prelim, and especially with, things opening up, but still having capacity limits. There's no way we can do this. So most of us opted to do the appointments. Buffet literally had 2 prelims before the pandemic hit, and I was supposed to be her third. So it's been interesting.
Yeah. A couple of people want to say hi to you. Tajma says hi.
Hey, girl.
And Russ says hi to both of us and can't wait to see you this week. Excited to see the package on stage. Yes. Stephen and I can't wait to see this package on stage either. When we went through it the other day, I was like, this is obviously, you've seen mine, and Erica Bondu is also your contestant. Yeah. And both of us you've seen either hanging on racks or in Zoom or something like that. So I'm very excited to have everything on stage.
Yes.
So before you and I sat down, I put a message in the contestant group and I said, any of the contestants that want to put forward a video and give us like a clip of what you are, who you're representing, and who you are as an entertainer, go ahead. I did not expect everybody to do that because obviously we're in a pandemic and people are trying to get, we're coming out of a pandemic. We're not quite out of it, but we're coming out of it. And so I did have a video come through, so we're going to play that in a second. But cool. I do want to give recognition to all of the girls. Obviously, representing Missouri, myself and Erica Bondu, we are there for you, and you are our promoter. Savannah Lynn is competing. Vita Bonti-Star is competing. Tori Sass, Alexia Puccini, Alyssa LeMay, Lisa Renee, Robin Culture, Artesia Young, Brianna Burns. I'm reading off names. So Tyler Christian and Brianna Burns are their boy names. Charlie McGinnis is a boy named Harmona Lisa, Kylie Hunter, Toxic Filth, and Yaya Torres. And then we're going to watch a very quick clip of the one individual who sent in theirs, which is...
Hello, beautiful people. My name is Paris Campbell. I am now living in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm originally from Nashville, and I will be competing at Entertainer of the Year as Tennessee Regional Entertainer of the Year. So I just want to jump on really quickly and throw some love out into the universe. I cannot wait to see a lot of you. Cannot wait to meet the other contestants. And to the contestants directly, I say, fake it till you make it. This week is going to be insane, but you will survive it. The only thing that matters is how you hit that stage when they call your name. Anything else, let it go, release it into the universe. You're going to be fine. Cannot wait to hug on you guys in person, even though we might have to do it from a bubble, but that's okay. That's our world right now. Again, Paris Campbell, representing Tennessee Regional Entertainer of the Year. Cannot wait to meet you guys. Be safe in your travels.
Paris is a sweetheart. I was supposed to judge Tennessee.
Who is Tennessee?
The Tennessee promoter is no longer active. Okay.
So I know you're a promoter. The amount of promoters are kind of in and out. We're not sure of all of them. So the promoters that you know offhand are, if you don't mind.
There's me, Russ. Russ, type in and help me.
Russ, if you want to help out with promoters, I definitely just put Stephen on the
Russ, Greg Dye, and Greg Dye has probably been the promoter the longest. He's got South Florida. Then there's John Buchanan, who's got Texas. I'm trying to remember who else because people have been coming in and out, and there were people that were going to do it this year. And then
over Michigan, do you know?
Michigan, that was Art, and he passed away. And I think the new promoter that was taking that over lives in Canada, and we haven't met. I mean, I've met him like on our Zooms, but I haven't met him in person. I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
I literally just put you on the spot, so no worries there. I do want to say this is our first year without Art at National Entertainer of the Year, and I worked with Art a lot at Seekers. He had me as entertainment during his Entertainer of the Year pageant twice. So Art, you will be missed, and I said this online. You will be in everybody's heart that knew you on that stage. We will be representing you. We will be fighting for you. We will be giving it all. And I'm a Michigan girl first before I am a New York girl. So I will be giving it my best for Michigan and for Missouri and for New York.
And we also lost our Midwest EOY promoters this year, Don and Ginger Manchester.
Yes.
So, this was a tough year. I mean, going all around for everybody on multiple levels, from losses of not being able to have the pageant, to personal losses, to losses to our whole EOY family with losing promoters. As far as we know, we didn't lose any former contestants or any former nationals. So, but it's been a tough year. I mean, as everybody knows.
Yeah. So we should jump into this interview and chat a little bit. My very first question for you is the same question that I ask all of my guests, and that is, what are you drinking? What's in your glass?
I've got a hard strawberry lemonade with vodka.
Okay. Come on, vodka today. I'm drinking a Sauvignon Blanc, so cheers to you. And my first question is, how excited are you to be back in the pageant world? So you actually already directed a pageant, and now you're going in as a promoter, but how excited are you to be back in the mix of things?
I can't wait for the family reunion.
I feel like this year is going to be very emotional for a lot of people.
It will be. So you always welcome in new people, because there's always new contestants and there's always new people joining the family, whether it's through the new court or just new contestants coming in and stepping across and leaving everything that they have on the stage. They become part of the family. I gained a whole new family this year. Well, I was kind of part of the family, but I really got a whole new family this year with AAG. I've been a part of the America family on the outskirts. I've been a part of the USA family on the outskirts. But EOY was really like my first drag pageant family, and now I've got AAG. So, yeah, there's going to be hugs galore. I'm sure there's going to be some tears. I know there's going to be a crap ton of laughing and a lot of drinking.
A lot of drinking.
So yeah, I mean, it'll be good to see everybody again and just to see what this year is going to bring.
Yeah. So what would you say? We've talked about, we're going to talk about AAG in just a second, but what would you say that you think is kind of like the biggest difference between the last year that you were at EOY and this year? And how do you think that that's going to affect the competition? I guess I should say.
I think the pandemic is really going to change the dynamic this year, with so many people not having worked. I don't know if we're going to see some of the big productions that we've seen in the past, especially with the economic hit a lot of people took with not being able to perform, not being able to get with their teams, so on and so forth. So I think that is going to play a big part with this year, especially when it comes to the talent portion of the competition. I could be wrong. I hope I am. But I think we're going to see smaller scale talents. Not that that's a bad thing. To have a winning talent, you don't have to have 27 people on stage. You just have to be good at what you're doing. In terms of audience size, I hope and praying we have a packed house, because everybody's itching to get out and do things again, and we are so close to being in the center of the country that, it's not that bad of a drive from anywhere. I mean, it's a 4-hour drive for me, and that's pretty much, you can hit a broad scale of the country in that 4-hour drive from Louisville. So I'm hoping, we pack C2, and the audience energy gives the girls life on stage.
I've close to 15 people coming. So there's a big table, 2 tables.
Oh my God, we're gonna have to open the balcony just for your group.
C2 is a big venue, so but I was at AAG and it was beautifully ran. We're gonna talk about AAG and then come back to EOY since that was first. But it was beautifully ran. I just want to also give shout out to Nikki as a first-time national promoter. Her first year, she did everything within months. She had a great team behind her. I know there were 2 points in the pageant when people were shouting at her on stage, and she was like, "I'm trying," which she did much better than I would have. I would have been like, "This Latin bitch is about to pull out a razor blade and cut your ass." That up, but she did such a wonderful job. How did you feel? How do you feel like everything went, and what were your thoughts going into it? You're the director of the pageant.
Yeah, Nikki handed me the keys to her new car and let me drive it for this year. I kind of got handed the keys last year at Gent and Goddess at Large when it was in St. Louis. And they're like, Nikki called me and said, "Hey, will you help us?" And then I just kind of got handed the keys and said, "Okay, you're just make this work." I'm like, "Okay." And then she's like, "Okay, I now own this and we're going to do this again." And she's like, "Tell me what you need." And I gave her a list. I said, "I have to have at least this one person." And that was Trixie LaRue. Trixie has an amazing rapport with contestants. She is the current Missouri America. She's competed and she's been to nationals before, and she literally knows what the contestants are going through. And I'm like, if I can't have Trixie backstage as my contestant person, then I can't do this. Because I can't be.
We also love watching her juicy behind jump across that stage each time she was sweeping the floor.
But literally, Trixie and I have the same mindset. I don't even have to go to her and be like, "Hey, can you do this?" I'll be like, and she's like, "It's done." I'm like, "In this," she's like, "It's done." I'm like, "Perfect." And then, she brought in Alberto from AJA Entertainment was already going to be there. So Alberto handled calling all the cues for technical and talent stuff. So that left me basically just as the point person and calling everything, being the general director. So it was absolutely amazing. Was it stressful? A little bit. There were parts. Most of the time it was on autopilot. I had a couple of mad dashes through the audience. I felt bad every time I passed you. You were like, "Do you need a drink?" I'm like, "No, I'm good." I'm like, "I can't talk to. I've got 17 conversations going on my earpiece right now. Sorry."
No, I just wanted to check on you. I know that you had expected a few more hands. And so I was like, let me just make sure that he's okay.
Yeah, we actually ended up, Nikki had some people that were coming in from Minnesota that I didn't know were coming in. And she's like, "So these people are going to do this and this and this." And I'm like, "Oh my God." Awesome. So I ended up actually having another backstage person, and then I had two tabulators that checked each other, and then I just went over and triple checked everything and signed off on all the scores. And I did the rankings and and then the category awards. So it actually flowed really, really well, and I'm looking forward to next year. I've got the first year under my belt. I kind of know what to expect now, going in from having been in on the planning pretty much from day one. Whereas I would, in the past, Nikki had me walk in day of pageant. She's like, okay, here's all this. And I'm like, okay. So yeah, it was a little different this year. And it was a huge honor and a great experience. And I literally cannot say thank you to Nikki enough for putting her trust in me and the team to make her new baby work.
And what a cool gal to work with. I love Nikki. She's one of my good Judies, and I love just cutting up with her. She's a good one.
Nikki's great. She'll be the first one to tell you her bark is worse than her bite. And
I'll second that.
And there were literally, she looked at me a couple times and went, and I went, Jared.
Not the legal name.
And she goes, okay. She's like, you got it. I'm like, if I need you, I will come get you. If I'm not bothering you, you need to go have a drink and you need to mill around and you need to be an owner and don't worry about this. Go glad hand, go meet everybody, make sure everybody's having a good time, and watch how the pageant is running. She's like, okay.
All right for that. Like I said, it was a great pageant, and we had 3 wonderful winners that are gonna just rock it out this year. So, Olivia Ray Taylor, Michael J. Valentine, and Lindsay Page just killed it. So EOY, we're coming up on it.
Let's get on it.
It starts Thursday. I'm driving my big old truck, my 12-foot truck, starting at midnight on Wednesday with Tajma Stetson. We are going to jump on that road and head to Louisville, which is our 12-hour drive. So what brought you into the system? What made you want to be a promoter for EOY?
So Missouri EOY has a long history, but unfortunately the long history has large breaks in it. And, our first Missouri EOY was Charity Case. And there's been some absolutely positively amazing names that have followed Charity in the history of Missouri EOY. Before I took it over, the last Missouri EOY was 2015, and I brought it back in 2019. And my goal was, let's bring it back. Let's see if there's still an interest with EOY in Missouri. Because it's been away from the scene for so long. It's like Missouri Continental. Missouri Continental had a very long history, and then it died off, and they tried to bring it back, and Moulton was the last Missouri Continental.
Oh, yeah.
And she's never had her step down. Like, it died off after she won. So, it's it's one of those where let's see what this does. And, if there's an interest, we'll keep it going. If there's not an interest, I tried. So we're going to, we'll keep it going.
Yeah, get these girls interested.
In 2019, our first year, I had 4 contestants. 2020, I was gonna do one more year in St. Louis, and then I was gonna take it to Kansas City, and see, if I could get some interest from the Kansas City girls, so they wouldn't have to drive across the state, because Kansas City has been ignored in the pageant world for too long, especially in Missouri. They haven't taken a state pageant to Kansas City in a number of years. So I'm like, let's throw the Kansas City girls, let's throw them a bone and see if they'll bite and see if they'll grace my stage.
Yeah.
So that's our next look, is getting over to Kansas City and getting a venue for 2021.
I believe we're just looking for a show director at Hamburger Mary's to get back to us, and we will be there.
Actually, we're looking at the Arts Asylum.
Oh, okay. We'll take that. So I have to give some love to Tiffany T. Hunter, who is tuning in now. She said, just tuning in, good luck at EOY. Thank you, babe. Mr. Missouri EOY won National Mr. Entertainer of the Year 5 years in a row, 05, 06, 07, 08, and 10. Wow, that's good. She said, oops, 2010, 2009. So,
Tiffany, the drag historian.
Literally, Tiffany knows basically everything about drag. But I also want to say, Tiffany, you were in my opening speech. You are one of the people that I want to thank because you have been a huge support. You just are somebody who I look up to and who I confide in and really just want to emanate when I'm on stage. So you were in my opening thank you credits. I just want to say that again to you since you're watching. Thank you for being you and for being somebody who we all can want to be. Love you back. You are such a beautiful person, and there is nothing more that I want to be than Tiffany T. Hunter, especially that her final walk in that beautiful J.D. Martin gown with the tearaway. Oh my god.
Oh, the red one? Yeah, that was
if she would have worn that in well, she would have won again. She actually did win again. Olivia, sorry, no, I'm just kidding. Olivia it's going to be beautiful representative, but Tiffany definitely won gown again.
I think Tiffany was ready to give up her crown after 2 years.
Oh, I don't know. I think AAG is a good one. Adrian is tuning in. Adrian is the
Hi, Adrian.
And has been nonstop messaging us today because he had the pleasure of sitting down with George and Eddie today and figuring out the last minute details. So Adrian, thank you for all of your messages. Thank you for just being you and for taking care of everything. I know I messaged him and I was like, I have a 12-foot truck. Where do I park this thing? And he put it in the group. A lot of you have said you're bringing trucks. So we're going to find a parking schedule for everybody. Love you back, babe.
Adrian is absolutely positively one of the most amazing people to work with.
Yes. He is. He's been very helpful to all of us. And he said on the front end, you will be working with me throughout the year. So get ready. And he... So we talked about what brought you to EOY. What are you most excited about for this year?
Just seeing who our new national is going to be.
Yeah.
It's watching the competition that does it for me. Getting to see these girls from across the country that I may not know or whose names I've heard but never met and never seen them grace the stage before. Getting to see them put their best foot forward and really see what they are about is what does it for me.
Yeah. this year, actually, Adrian, I'd love to hear from you on this as well. And Russ, if you're still listening, I'd love to hear from you on this. So go ahead and comment in. But what do you think are the priorities, in your opinion, of this year's National Entertainer of the Year?
Growth. Absolutely number one, growth.
How do you see that like panning out?
This is the hard part with EOY not having an interview category where you can sit down and ask a question and you're basing your judgment on just what you see on the stage.
Yeah.
You don't know if you're going to get a salesperson, an administrator, an entertainer, or none of the above.
I mean, you could watch Viva Aaliyah. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
I'm not on the judges panel.
Michael J. Valentine, Mocha Montrese.
But I mean, we have to get somebody that has a combination of salesperson, administrator, and entertainer. So we can get them booked across the country so they can get the EOY message out, that they are able to connect with potential promoters and get them to sign on the dotted line so we can get prelims going up again, and to have an administrator who can take the entire job as an entertainer and a salesperson and make it work. I know it's asking a lot, but
no, I mean, I think that's reasonable of anybody who's applying for a position, which, in my opinion, that's what it is when you are going for a national title. You're applying for a position that is necessary.
Right.
You have to have the necessary credentials for it. Actually, Tiffany, if you're still watching, you are a pageant guru. I would also love to hear from you what you think EOY needs as its next national. Adrian did comment in, to me, the important thing is much more than the pageant. It's how you all take advantage of making contacts with folks that you meet. In regards to that question is prelims, marketing, and being an overall cheerleader. I think that echoes what you said, which is like, you have to be a salesperson. I have my puppy too.
I know.
Puppies.
This one was like scratching to get up, and now she wants down.
But I agree with you. I think we all have to be salespeople as nationals in general. Even as somebody who is like Miss Gay America or Continental or US of A that have been around, or I mean, EOY has been around that long, but we know that the pandemic had a harder toll on EOY. But I think that we need to be there. We need to represent the system in a way that is a salesperson, but also a confidant. We need to be best friends with the promoters, and because word of mouth is the best sales pitch you can ever have.
It is. And you have to have someone who's not only going to sell themselves, but sell the system as well. Exactly.
Tiffany said that's a lot for me to type out on my phone, but I think Adrian was I hear you. I just
do voice to text, Tiffany.
Yes, we got voice to text, or just message me separately and I'll read it for you. But no, I agree. I think it's a lot about that, and it's important for us to be salespeople, but also friends. We have to be friends with our promoters and friends with our fellow nationals.
Yeah,
that's what it's all about. To be able to be a successful national. That's what I learned at Miss Gay United States. I mean, even if I didn't sell a prelim, I sold a prelim for next year.
Right. I think one of the, and I think you went, but during AAG, I didn't get to go because I was running interview. But when they did the Nationals drag brunch on Sunday, and they invited all the Nationals to come and do a drag brunch before the final night of AAG, and they did their national walk. I know they're doing it again for EOY. I know. I don't think everybody that was at the last one is going to be there, but I know
it's Sabrina Pataya,
Garcelle,
and London Port Rain.
Yes, I've got my ticket, so I get to go to brunch this time.
Actually, I'm going to ask you this on camera because if any other contestants are watching, with our timing, do we have time to go? If you go to the first brunch?
Well, it depends. Probably not.
Okay.
Because I'm not exactly sure what the Sunday schedule is going to hold, because there's usually Sunday at noon is usually the final night rehearsal for contestants, and then sound check for your sound check and blocking for your final night talents if you need it. And then by the time you get through all of that, you usually have enough time to like go grab something to eat and start your painting.
I'm telling you, we are buying food the second we get there. We're going to the grocery store because we are cooking in our VRBO. It's the way we're going, because I am not, as much as I cannot leave that place, I am going to not leave it. And unless I'm going to the C2.
Oh, but you got to go for late night food at Burger Boy.
If you're going, I'll go.
Oh, Burger Boy. Oh, okay. So anybody who's never ever been to Louisville, or who's been to Louisville, who's ever looked for a late night place to eat, with the pandemic, all the normal spots were shut down. We found this place called Burger Boy. It's open 24/7 and serves their entire menu. Amazing.
Oh my God. Wait. This is like the best news ever. Trying to come for fun tonight to cheer you on. Tiffany, you let me know what you need to make that happen, and I will make it happen. I will make it happen. Yeah, the only thing I was able to get, Adrian has a long message coming in for us. I'll be honest, I've never had an interest in AAG until I met Tiffany Hunter. Yes, she was approachable and easy to talk to, and that's a person who should ideally represent. Buffet was an ideal representative. She and I had fostered a wonderful relationship. That's something I love in a representative. I think that should be prominent in anybody that represents a title. And I almost think, I hate to say this, but I almost think that there should be a meet and greet to pageants sometimes, where we get to meet the promoters, we get to meet the people who are in charge, or the people that we're going to be interacting with for the year. Because that's a huge part of our job, is making sure that those people are comfortable and taken care of. And I say this as like a former national gay United States. I'm not saying like I'm going to get this title. I'm saying this as somebody who has represented a system before. But I think that it's important. I was brought to 4 different states that had left Gay United States before, and then rejoined after I was Miss Gay United States because of the interaction they had with me. So I think that's, well, I can set up a meet and greet. Let's do it. Adrian, I want to meet you. Actually, I think I actually know I met you at AAG, but we said hi for this long, but I also wasn't in drag that night. And Tiffany Saw, thank you so much. I hope we get to work together again. Tiffany, we will make that happen. If I get to be National Entertainer of the Year, you, me, and Adrian and Stephen will all sit down for a good drink, because we'll probably need it. But anyway, Stephen, I have one last question for you, and then we will kind of jump into the closing credits. But what advice do you have for contestants jumping into this after a pandemic? I know there's no right answer to this because none of us have done this before, but I know you've been prepping as much as we've been prepping. So if you have any advice, I'd love to hear it.
Well, the big thing, and this is whether we were going into coming out of the pandemic or not, be you. 2, don't forget your onstage question is based off of your bio.
Unless you're
and you never know what they're going to pull out of your bio. And you're lucky I'm not the one writing the questions this year.
Sure, I love a hard question. I actually love interview is my favorite category in pageants that have it. So anyway, keep going. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh no, you're fine. But be you. Let us see who you are. Don't show us who you think we want you to be. Model the hell out of your gown or creative evening wear and have fun with your creative presentation and have fun with your talent. You know, if you're having fun, the audience is going to have fun. If you're stressed and we can tell you're stressed, we're going to feel bad for you, but the judges aren't.
I hear that. Actually, I lied. I do have one more question, and it's about writing your bio for EOY.
Sure.
What should people put in their bio? Because a bio can be so many things. It can be a paragraph. It can be 10 pages. It can be a bibliography that is like a novel. Like, what are we supposed to write? Because like I said, I've told you this 100 times. I've been a dresser, a dancer. I've been in the audience. I've done my national walk at EOY, but I said I would not come to this competition until I had everything in line and I could do the package of my dreams. So what do we do for that? And
so for your bio, we want a glimpse of you and you. We want to know who you are outside of the makeup, and we want to know who you are when you put your face on and you step on the stage. So we want to know a little bit about both sides of your persona. So tell us a little bit about you as who you are when you're not on stage, and tell us a little bit about who you are when you're on stage.
Got it. And then
you never know what they're going to pick off of your bio to form into a question. My contestant last year talked about her love of Disney and then how she is a master's candidate in a social work field. We're like, oh great, they're gonna pull how she works with growing American youth and her social work. Nope. They asked about Disney, and if she was a Disney song, what one would she be? Like, you have no clue what they're going to pull out of your bio.
Well, let's just hope they're a little more educated this year. That is not a read. That is just like, if we take the time to write about things, let's hope they...
No, I literally...
Adrian said something you can own up to when you're asked the question. Don't add stuff that you can't back up. Oh, that's actually very good advice, honestly. Like, between the two of you, having that advice is much more telling of what I will write in mine. Also, when do we hand those in? For those of us who have not competed before.
That's Adrian.
Adrian, when do we hand those in? Do we get to hand
them registration?
At registration? I think so, but Also, I just am so grateful for everybody that's behind the scenes. If I haven't mentioned you and you're a part of the EOY team, thank you, thank you, thank you. While Adrian is hopefully typing.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah,
Registration.
registration. We see it. Harris Campbell, didn't we already submit bios? Yeah, we submitted something on an info sheet, so that's why I was wondering. Was the info sheet our bio, or are we using that separately? Nope. Oh, there we go. Answer. That was for something else. Oh, they're gonna talk about us, Paris. But I want to thank everybody at EOY. I want to thank all of the promoters. I definitely want to say thank you in front of you. Thank you, Stephen, for putting your trust in me. Thank you for knowing that, or maybe not knowing that Erica and I would represent you in the way that is like up to your standards. I know you're a director of a national pageant. You've been a promoter for years, and just allowing us to be a part of your team it means a lot to me. And I think I can definitely speak for Evie when I say like we are just so ready to represent you and to be your queens. Paris and Phoebe and all the other girls, I'm so excited to meet you officially, face to face. This is not just a competition for me. This is going to be a sisterhood that is lifetime. So whether we win, lose, or draw, this is it. It's it. EOY is my passion. It is what I live for. It is what I strive for, and I am here to make sure that I do everything I can do to make the competition better, whether I am National Entertainer of the Year 2021. So let's go. Paris says, "Ooh, a surprise." Sister, I really cannot wait to meet you. I feel like you and I are just going to cut up in the back room the entire time. But Stephen, again, thank you for not only being my promoter, but for being here for me today and for just walking me through every part of that crazy package I put together. You got to see it. Without, obviously, we're not giving anything away. Actually, I do not care. That is not who I am. Nobody is going to do what I do the way I do it, and I'm not going to do something the way somebody else does their package. Even if we're doing
Still, don't give it away. Make them buy a ticket to come and see it.
Yeah, but you can buy tickets at EOY.net. Steven is an awesome promoter. He is. He's been here for me since literally before day one, before we decided that this was going to happen. So yeah, I can't tell you enough. Without him, I would be not at EOY. But we don't want a spoiler. You're not going to get a spoiler, but without spoiling, any last minute words of wisdom. Since this is my show, I can do
that.
Even though we're probably going to talk every day until then.
Literally just, what I said. Be you, let you shine, and leave it on the stage when you're done. They can only judge you by what you show when you walk out of those curtain wings and you step onto that stage. So if you leave it on the stage, that's what they're going to judge.
Yeah.
And, I know my team is not going to be drama-filled, and if we don't win, we're not going to pout and we're not going to scream, and we're going to support whoever won. The
building won't be on fire.
No, the building won't be on fire. I mean, I'm sure there'll be some tears shed, but that's expected.
Right.
But, the only thing we can do is walk in with our heads held high, put ourselves out there, and if the judges like what we did, we win. If the judges don't like what we did, somebody's got to lose. So we take it with a grain of salt. We check their comments, and we prep for next year.
Yeah. I have to say, to go along with what you just said, judges' comments and their scores are their opinions, and so you could have one package one year and the same package the next year and have completely different scores because you have completely different judges.
Absolutely.
And they're chosen based on their merits and their relationship to the system that you're in. So never get discouraged by a low score. Never get discouraged by anybody saying anything differently. You can take those scores and you can build on them. Absolutely that. But never get discouraged by them. Pageantry is a gamble, y'all. It is a full gamble. So Adrian gave us a heart for what we're saying. I just want to say one more time, thank you to my team. And that's Team Missouri Entertainer of the Year. We are going to rock it out. I love you. That is Steven and myself and Evie, Erica Bondu. You are wonderful. Thank you for everything. And I will see you backstage in just a second, babe.
Okay.
All right. Vivas, this is my last show before I go compete for National Entertainer of the Year. One more time. This is probably going to get emotional again. I have to say thank you to my husband, who has been here for every painstaking hour of putting this package together. My mother, who has taught me to just be a strong-ass bitch and to juggle job after job after job after job and make sure that I am always grateful for what I have and never take things for granted. My sisters and brothers, Karis Mason Matthew, Brian, Sarah, Chelsea McKenzie. I could not do this without you. Blast from the past, a very dear friend of mine, Joe. Wow. Break a leg, boo. I love you, Joe. You are a wonderful person. I have to thank George and Eddie for having this competition, Adrian for being our behind the scenes guru. Thank you for everything. Break a Nail Queen, bring it to us and be you. I will. Tajma and Moulton, my sisters who have been with me and started drag with me. I really, 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 really could not do this without you. You are my backbone. You are everything I aspire to be and want to be. Tyler and Greg helped me build my sets. Tyler, you've been my best friend for God knows how long. Dominic, my producer, and the person who has just pushed Viva Aaliyah forward. Chris, Bradley, Ryan, Jules, Stephen, Belton. Chris, you and I have been friends for the past 6 years. You are wonderful. You are everything to me. And everybody in that family of my dancers and all of that are people I could not live without now. Mulan and GB Couture, thank you for sewing everything for me and just being such a fucking cool group of people to work with. Fierce Drag Jules for jeweling me through this competition. Big Girl Nails by Coco. I'm wearing her now. Get into her. You can find her on Instagram, Big Girl Nails by Coco. My drag mother, Maya Douglas, a former EOY, former everything. You have inspired me to be National Entertainer of the Year. Sion Hunter, Shay Larice for sponsoring me and just being wonderful people. And honestly, just Tiffany T. Hunter, you have been such an inspiration, a drag idol, a woman that I can look up to. I tend to look up to women more than men, and I feel like Tiffany is a woman that has been a friend, a confidant, and somebody that has inspired me to be better in my craft. So I love you all. You're wonderful. Next week, Joe, this is crazy that you're messaging it right now. I just gave me a little bit more emotion. But next week, I will be at National Entertainer of the Year. You will not see a Viva Aaliyah. I am sorry for it, but we will be debuting another episode of my journey to EOY, which we debuted a little while ago. Was it last week? Week before? Something like that. But we are debuting another episode of Journey to EOY, which is my behind the scenes of competing for pageantry. We have 8 episodes total that we are completing. So be sure to tune in on my YouTube channel. You can find that in my link tree on my Facebook, my Instagram, and my Twitter. I love you all. You're wonderful. Hopefully, we're crossing fingers. We're crossing arms, legs, eyes, everything we have. I will come back and I will make you proud, no matter what the outcome, though. I'm going to do my best. I'm going to leave myself on the stage. I'm going to make sure that everybody knows who I am and why I am doing what I'm doing. So, with that said, we will see you in 2 weeks. And Viva Aaliyah. And now I just forgot, I have to push my own outro music out today because Dominic is not here. So, once again, I love you and Viva Aaliyah.
Viva Aaliyah.